A lot of local business owners, particularly bar owners, those that serve food or those that do not serve food, who can't even be open right now. But even those that do serve food, they're not allowed to have gaming on their bar tops. And it's costing business owners a lot of money. The man we have on the line is no exception. He is the owner of Steiner's. He is part of a lawsuit. He is suing the state over this issue. Roger Sachs, the owner of Steiner's, joining us right now on the line. Roger, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well today, guys. My pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you,
So, Roger, it's a little complex, this lawsuit. Can you explain to our listeners what this lawsuit entails, why you're doing it, what you're frustrated about? I know that's kind of a loaded question. Can you go through with us this lawsuit? What's it about?
Well, let me preface telling you all about it by letting you know that the judge did come to her decision on Monday. I'm not sure if you are both aware of that.
I was not. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the judge came to her decision, and she decided not to allow, to overturn Governor Sisolak. She chose to remain partial to the governor in the state, and she didn't feel that she had the authority to overturn his executive order. Although our gaming attorney, who was doing the case, Dennis Kennedy, provided very good reasoning for it, but she decided not to allow it. And so once that happened on Monday, obviously we were very disappointed. We would have liked to have had that give us the ability to get the bar top reinstated. But then we waited. We knew something else that occurred over the weekend at the same time was Executive Order 30 that the governor had put out that gave us hope yesterday. If you were following some of the rumblings around town, that bar tops could have gone live again at midnight if the mitigation team for the state or for the county or the state mitigation team liked the mitigation proposal that the county had put together. Unfortunately, as many of the listeners probably know, they weren't happy with any of the larger counties' mitigation plans, and the bar tops are still closed.
So talk to me a little bit about how important it is for people like you to be able to have these bar top gaming slot machines and the percentages of how much you rely on those gaming machines for your business.
Well, I mean, there's varying levels. Here at Steiner's, we do quite a bit. We do a lot of gaming. We do a lot of food and beverage. We're one of the busier taverns, on the restaurant and bar end as well. So that, we don't like to quote percentages out in the field, but, it definitely helps everybody, make their bottom line and hopefully put enough in their pockets to take care of their families and do some of the other things in life that are worth living for.
Sure. So, Roger, I would imagine, a lot of other people, a lot of other business owners that might own bars in Las Vegas. Just talk to me about the frustration here and the inconsistencies, because I've criticized Governor Steve Sisolak with his inconsistencies. For example, as you know, half the people that had to close down were complying. That, to me, that I didn't understand that at all. Number one, why wouldn't you just punish those that are not complying, and those that are complying, you shouldn't punish them? I had a serious problem with that, as I'm sure you did as well.
Yeah, well, going back to the time where, we were first shut down on the night of March 17th, which of course was my birthday, so it was a very bittersweet day in the annals of Nevada history. But we were closed for 78 days. At the beginning of the pandemic, everybody kind of just sized it up and said, hopefully this won't go on too long. But when we were fortunate enough to open back up, and for our 3 locations, staggered, through the middle of May for just takeout and curbside, till finally getting the one store open on Cheyenne for our 22nd anniversary, May 22nd. Then opening the others up to dining capacity, then getting the gaming allowed bar tops back open on June 4th. That was like when we felt like, okay, we've made it through the tough time. And then fast forward 5 weeks to July 4th weekend, or prior to July 4th, the governor says, well, you know what? This COVID thing doesn't look like it's going away, and we're just going to go ahead and, Dr. Fauci says bars are the problem.
Right.
So we're going to arbitrarily close all the bars. And, and if you have food, you can stay open, and you have your bar top that will be closed. And then you think of it, and you talk, number one inconsistency is, we're not, a tavern's not like any, college bar or beach bar. where it's 3 deep and people hanging out and hugging and kissing. I mean, people come to taverns to play video poker, or if they're coming in to eat, they're in the dining room. It's not a place that's overwhelmingly not social distance. So that first dagger closing us down, and then repeatedly over the last 6 weeks, dangling the carrot, that he might reopen the bar tops, and then keeping us shut down. It's crazy, and you're absolutely right with regards to the inconsistencies and the compliance. Because when he came out with Directive 29, not only did he say that he had made a mistake by closing the bar tops, maybe that wasn't fair. You thought, okay, here's a guy that's going to be like, I messed up. I've got a lot going on. I'm going to judge everything based on industry, or not based on industry anymore, but by those that are doing the right thing and those that aren't.
Right.
Well, if you hear that whole thing going on when he's talking on this one, you're like, wait, there may be a light at the end of the tunnel, and then right at the end, but you bars, you got to remain closed, and your bar tops have to remain closed unless you serve.
Well, I think it's clear that he was pandering to the casinos or catering to the casinos. How many other bars are involved with this class action suit, and do you have any piece of the suit that you're attempting to get lost revenue from the casinos being open and you not being open in that regard?
No. So with regard to the suit, we basically, after it was denied on Monday, and then after we weren't able to get things open again yesterday through the mitigation, most of the owners, there were 37 total owners, 62 total locations that were part of the suit. We've as opposed to trying to appeal it, we just don't think that that's the right direction to take at this time. So that the lawsuit's actually going away.
Gotcha. I guess this might be a loaded question as well, Roger, but if you had a chance to sit down with Governor Sisolak and you could speak with him face to face, what would you say to him?
How would you like to help local businesses and get compensated very well, all without ever leaving?
I would just say, why don't you allow, your compliance officers to come out and investigate all the taverns? We've been doing the right thing. So many operators that I've talked to around town, wanted to make sure that they stayed open. And you should see, our bartenders, as they said, Governor, look at our bartenders are running out every time somebody gets up from a machine. They're out there with a spray bottle. They're making sure it's clean. They're taking care of, every facet of what the CDC and gaming control said we needed to do, but yet you're not allowing us to operate. And here's another thing. It's like, contact tracing is so big, which is one of the things they talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
And they want to say that, it's coming from bars. Well, have you been able to say that any of the bars that are open, that don't have their bar tops open, but there's still people there? Have you had any contact tracing that led back to just, the places that are open or restaurants? Probably not, because we're at the top of our game.
Well, and I think the issue with contact tracing, and I was actually that happened to me. My daughter was she's in a daycare, and one of the kids at her daycare got the virus. And so every single parent and all the kids had to get tested and get quarantined, and it took 10 days to get my results back. But in the case of contact tracing, how do they not lead to like a Vaughn's or a Smith's or an Albertsons? Why is it always something like a bar that is being considered? I think that there is some serious bias involved there. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, it's funny. They're reopening movie theaters today. How
are they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie theaters reopen today. So how does that make sense? But to your point, whether it's a home improvement store or a grocery store or Walmart. I mean, those places are as busy, if not busier, than in most of your taverns in town.
Much busier.
Okay, so here's my question then, Roger, and I don't disagree with you. Then why do you think that is? Why do you think there has to be a reason for everything, right? Why, Roger, is Steve Sisolak allowing movie theaters to open up, but yet putting the bars in this situation or another? There has to be a reason. Why?
Money.
Well, here's my reason. I think there's probably a lot of people that agree with it. Some may not. But the number one thing I said the day that he shut us down on July 10th, but did not shut the casinos down, it's a revenue grab.
Right.
Casinos pay taxes with the non-restricted license based on the revenue that they make, whereas restricted bars, pay a flat tax on their machines that they have quarterly and yearly.
That makes perfect sense.
If you close down the bars, you're pushing more business theoretically to the casinos, so their revenue goes up so you can get that tax money to cover the state liability that you created by shutting everybody down in the first place.
Roger, I have a major problem with Governor Sisolak since this started. I think he's acting as more of a king or a dictator than anything else. But I have it on good authority that he is going. There was an attempt to recall him that did not go very well. But I have it on good authority that another attempt to recall him will be starting in the middle of September. Would you be interested in that recall?
How would you like to see 5 real-life examples of people making over $1 million a year online with nothing?
I certainly would. I know a lot of people that would, and I believe I think it's a assembly person from Mesquite. That I saw something floating around the internet, or somebody sent me a text of a recall effort, and I can't remember the gal's name, but somebody that says, hey, this isn't right, and a lot of mistakes have been made, not just with the pandemic, but with you look at what's going on with Dieter and unemployment and how that whole fiasco is going. I mean, it's just a comedy of errors.
I agree, but I think it starts from the top all the way down, and that's why I would say, well, if we're going to do that, then I guess we could do the same thing with Donald Trump and every other governor in every other state. But I hear your frustration, I really do, and I'm on your side, Roger, and I do hope that everybody is able to be back up and running soon. I really do.
The problem with Las Vegas, or with Nevada in general, is that Governor Sisolak is making decisions as if Nevada is California, and the economies are nothing alike. Nevada depends significantly on gaming. The economy is just not diversified enough to be making the decisions that he's making. Do you agree with that, Roger?
I think not only is it based on gaming, it's based on hospitality.
Right.
It's based on tourism.
Yeah.
Those are the three main factors that drive the state, especially Las Vegas. And all of a sudden, with tourism being killed. I mean, yes, the pandemic's there, but how it's handled and where we're going to go from here, only remains to be seen.
Well, I'll say this, Roger. I have frequented your establishment, a couple, the one that's on Las Vegas Boulevard, and, of course, the one that is more towards Summerlin. And I've been to both of them, and I enjoy your bar. I enjoy the food there. Great food, by the way. And it's a fun atmosphere, and I enjoy going there, and I hope that things can get back to normal sooner than later. I don't think I speak for myself when I say that. But, Roger, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, and I wish you luck, man. I hope this thing gets cleared up sooner than later.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know, because in case you guys don't know, we do have 3 locations. 2 of them are on the northwest side of town, up by the way of Summerlin. First one is Cheyenne and Durango. The second one's at Vegas and Buffalo, so those 2 are relatively close to each other. And then also we have the one out at Las Vegas Boulevard and Windmill. And all are operating right now 24/7. We were fortunate enough to be able to take some of the games off the bar top and put them into what we call desktop machines.
Right.
That's the newest, latest trend here in town. Basically, it's funny because if you guys remember, I don't know how long you've been in town, but when Steve Sisolak was head of the county commission and he was going after Dottie's being funded by Stations Casinos, he's basically turning the entire town into Dottie's now.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Because everybody's taking their machines out of their bars and putting
right. Our studios are right next to a Dottie's, which I've gone to from time to time. That's interesting.
You've hit big there, haven't you?
I have hit a few Royals there from time to time.
Wow.
Haven't hit any at Steiner's yet, Roger. Maybe you could help me with that.
I would say, Roger, that Steiner's...
Don't be a quitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger, I would say that Steiner's has the best bar tavern food in the city.
It's very good.
I would legitimately say that.
It's very good.
Very comprehensive menu, especially with the wings.
It is. It is very good. The food there is awesome. Roger, I appreciate you taking some time to join us, my man. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck.
Have a great weekend, guys. My pleasure, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Roger.
There you go. That's Roger Sachs, the owner of Steiner's Pubs, 3 of them in the Valley, and they are very, very good.